A few years ago, in 2018, CAHRS developed some models for HR business partner and centers of excellence leader that talks about the roles and responsibilities, traits and attributes, and competencies and capabilities. So here's a look at the one for the HRBP leaders. As we look at this model now in 2022, what we're finding is the buckets still hold true for the most part, but the emphases are changing. And so the yellow highlights are areas of increased focus. If we look at the same model from 2018 for the CoE leaders, you take a quick look here, but go to the next slide. The yellow area here also highlights the key. A lot of what we're doing is the same, but the emphasis and where we need to focus and build our skills is changing given the world around us. So let me delve into that in a little more detail on this slide. So there's really 4 areas of HR expertise that companies are increasing their focus on. The first one is compensation. You think about, first of all, from how we had to deal with paying remote workers to now dealing with inflation impact, to pay transparency laws that are being passed in some of our states. The game has changed here and HR needs to skill up. The second area is talent management. We're talking about that all the time, talent acquisition, retention, and development in this low unemployment, but pre-recessionary environment is calling for a real higher level of expertise. The third area is labor relations. And it's, as you know, it's been a really tight labor market, and this has allowed labor unions to increase their power for some years. It used to be in the old days that we started HR folks in the plants, they got an experience and exposure to labor relations and employee relations in those arenas. But that's kind of gone away, and labor relations has become a more specialized domain. And so there's a need here to skill up HRBPs and others in this area. And the last one is well-being. Emotional, psychological, physical burnout are all impacting the workforce and us in HR. And we've put a priority on programming and tactics to address this fatigue and stress in the workplace. There's different tactics that companies are taking, things like Focus Fridays, where no meetings are scheduled, in place of what used to be summer hour Fridays and other things. But this was a more specialized area, but we really need to skill up more folks in HR on well-being and how to deal with it. If we go to the right side of the page here, there are 4 HR skills or capabilities that our partners are focusing most on today. The first one is business acumen, which isn't necessarily new. We've been talking about this for a while, but it's shifting a little bit. At the junior levels, the focus is on understanding the financials and key metrics of the business. But at the senior levels, it's really thinking about business leadership versus acumen. So how are we using the HR levers to lead the business in the environment we're in today? The second one is strategic thinking. Here, to be more effective, HR really needs to think critically, logically, and strategically to help the business meet its current and future talent and organization needs, and develop plans to address any gaps that are there. Thirdly, consulting and business partnering skills. Given the rate of change and growing needs of the business, contracting and prioritizing work are a key area of development for us. It's hard for us to say no. And while development of consulting skills has traditionally been a requirement for HR business partners, there's a growing need for CoE leaders to learn this skill as they lean in more to business issues as well. And lastly, digital and data analytics. This has been dialed up as well, given the hybrid environment and more virtual and distance type of working and learning. So understanding how digital is impacting the business is a key area of development for us. And with an increase in information, HR needs to know how to both interpret and tell the story using data.